too stupid to carry coffee. Bianca Bellandi sneered, splashing the cup across Nora Bennett's grey uniform before Dante's guests. Coffee ran from Nora's collar to the curve of her waist, hot enough to sting. But she did not drop the silver tray. Chairs scraped behind her as Dante's captains turned toward the confrontation. She had spent 14 years learning that powerful people watched a servant's reaction more closely than their own cruelty. Bianca lifted her empty hand. My sapphire ring was beside that cup. Now it's gone. Victor Hale. Hale, the Bellandi security chief, stepped forward as if he had been waiting for the accusation. The tray is damaged too. Chemical burns along the handle. Miss Bennett had access to both. Dante Bellandi stood at the head of the table, 38 years old, controlled enough to frighten men who carried guns for him. He looked at his sister. Then, at the security report Victor placed before him. The report showed Nora alone in the silver pantry. It showed Bianca's ring entering the room and not leaving. Take her access card, Dante said. His gaze moved from Victor to Bianca, then across every door. But lock this room. No one leaves until I see the original camera feed. Nora felt the order more sharply than the coffee. Dante had not declared her guilty, but he had still made her the first person publicly stripped of trust. She had protected his home, raised alarms his officers ignored, and kept his 8-year-old daughter Lily safe through 2 threats Dante never learned about. His suspicion covered the room, yet the cost landed on her body. Victor reached for her badge. Nora pressed a silver polishing cloth against the burned handle. A blue stain surfaced beneath the black tarnish. Bianca's face changed, only for a second. But Nora saw it. That is not heat damage, Nora said. Something reactive touched this tray. Bianca reached for it. Dante caught her wrist. The sapphire ring was still on her finger, turned inward. Blue residue filled its carved grooves. You said it was stolen, he said. Bianca tried to pull away. Dante forced her to her knees beside the table. But Nora did not mistake his anger for justice. He had believed the lie first. Victor signaled 2 guards. She could have planted the residue. Let Nora speak, Dante ordered. Before she could, Lily appeared in the doorway holding a drawing. In blue crayon, she had drawn Victor pushing a linen cart past her bedroom. He said it was a game. Lily whispered, He put blue medicine on my door. The lights died. Guests shouted. A chair overturned. Nora moved toward Lily, but a guard seized her arm. In the darkness, she heard wheels crossing marble, the soft, a familiar rattle of a linen cart. When the emergency lights came on, Bianca and Victor were gone. So was Lily. Nora looked at Dante. Your security system did not fail. Victor turned it off. Dante drew his weapon. Put that away, Nora said. If you chase him through the roots he controls, your daughter dies. Follow me through the roots, he forgot servants know. 3 days earlier, Nora had already found the first blue mark. It had appeared on a silver tasting spoon after breakfast, faint as ink beneath the polish. Nora managed the Bellandi silver because no one else understood that objects kept records. A tray remembered acid. A hinge remembered forced pressure. A glass remembered the powder dissolved against its rim. She placed the spoon in a paper sleeve rather than washing it. At lunch, Lily showed her a drawing of Uncle Victor pushing a cart. He comes when Daddy is busy. What is in the cart? Laundry. And little bottles. Lily colored 1 bottle blue. Nora checked the girl's door after bedtime. A blue crust clung beneath the inside handle. The same shade had surfaced on the spoon. She did not know the compound, but she knew the pattern. One substance had passed from service equipment to a child's private room. She reported the mark to Victor, because protocol required it. He arrived wearing black gloves and dismissed it as cleaning dye. Then he ordered the handle replaced before Dante could see it. That was when Nora stopped trusting protocol. She photographed the mark, kept the spoon, and copied the linen cart schedule. One cart disappeared from inventory for 11 minutes every night. Those 11 minutes matched gaps in the East Wing cameras. Bianca found her in the pantry. You are paid to polish, not investigate. Then why are you worried about what I find? Bianca smiled and turned her sapphire ring inward. Women like you always confuse usefulness with importance. Nora had once accepted that insult because she needed the salary. She no longer did. In a drawer beneath her folded uniforms lay the business plan for Bennett Household Integrity, a company that would train domestic staff, audit private estates, and protect workers from being blamed for the crimes they discovered. She planned to resign after the gala. First, she needed to protect Lily. Nora tested the tasting spoon with ordinary silver polish. Blue rose through the tarnish. She had her proof marker, not 5 separate clues, but one chain. The blue substance touched the spoon, Lily's door, and the missing cart. Whoever controlled that chain had access to the child and the household service routes. The pantry door slammed behind her. The lock turned from outside. Smoke began seeping through the floor vent. Nora wrapped her sleeve around her mouth and climbed the storage shelves. Above the old dumbwaiter was a maintenance hatch. Rosa Alvarez, the senior cook, had shown her years before. Nora kicked the panel until rusted screws tore loose. She crawled into darkness with the spoon between her teeth. Below her, someone entered the pantry and searched the drawer where she had hidden her business plan. Victor's voice rose through the shaft. She knows about the blue compound. Move the Gala forward. Rosa pulled Nora from the dumbwaiter into the kitchen. They said nothing until the pantry smoke had been blamed on faulty wiring and Victor's officers left. He searched for the spoon. Nora said. Rosa opened a flour tin. Then he should find one. They prepared a decoy spoon smeared with blue kitchen dye and left it in Nora's locker. Nora kept the real spoon sealed in wax paper behind the baseboard beneath Lily's reading bench. That evening, Lily confirmed Victor had touched her door. He said the medicine would make me sleepy if the house got loud. Nora's stomach tightened. Did he give you any? No. I pretended. The girl had learned survival too young. Nora went to Dante's office. Victor intercepted her outside. The boss is unavailable. His daughter is not a security, inconvenience. And you are not family. He placed a gloved thumb against Nora's access card as he returned it. A portable reader blinked inside his cuff. He had copied the credential in front of her because he believed she would not understand what she saw. Nora understood perfectly. She wrote the time on her palm, then sent Dante a message containing only check Lily's inner door handle before it is replaced. The message showed as delivered, then disappeared from her phone. Victor controlled the network. The next morning, Nora found the replacement handle already installed. Bianca wore her sapphire ring at breakfast. Blue remained deep in its grooves, though its surface had been cleaned. When Bianca lifted her coffee, Nora saw Victor watching the ring rather than the woman. Bianca was involved, but she was not in command. Nora altered the service schedule, so Lily would sleep near Rosa during the gala. She marked the original linen cart with a thread only staff would notice. At midnight, the thread returned, cut, and the wheel carried blue residue. Then the ballroom accusation began. Now, with Lily missing and emergency lights burning, Nora led Dante through the musician's corridor. The cart's wheel had left intermittent blue smears where polish from the ballroom tray transferred to wet residue. The trail ended outside Lily's bedroom. The door opened by itself. A linen cart rolled out. Empty, except for Lily's shoe and a card printed with Nora's access code. Victor's voice sounded through Dante's phone. "Your maid abducted your daughter. The cameras prove it." The footage showed Nora's credential opening Lily's room and a woman in a grey uniform pushing the cart. The face remained hidden. Victor returned with armed guards as though he had never left the ballroom. "She led you away to destroy evidence," he told Dante. Nora pointed to the card on the cart. "He copied it outside your office." Victor produced a blue-labeled bottle from Nora's locker. "We found the chemical. It was the decoy." Nora could expose that, but doing so would tell him the real spoon still existed. "Where is Lily?" Dante asked. Nora heard 3 knocks inside the wall. Rosa's kitchen signal. Lily was alive in the old laundry passage. Nora had taught her to use it if the lights failed. "Safe for the moment," Nora said. Victor turned the answer against her. She admits she knows. Dante's fear made the decision his pride had begun in the ballroom. "Restrain her until Lily is found." Victor cuffed Nora. She looked straight at Dante. "This is the second time tonight you have handed truth to the man controlling the evidence." Shame crossed his face too late. Victor's men took Nora through the service elevator. Not the security wing. Inside the garage. They injected a guard, placed Nora in a van, and left a resignation letter bearing her copied signature. The staging said she had fled after abducting Lily. Victor sat opposite her. "You should have stayed useful. Bianca thinks she is buying control of Dante." Bianca thinks many things. There it was contempt from the true architect. At the abandoned Bellandi laundry, Victor snapped Nora's cuff around a steam pipe bracket. The steel bit into the skin already bruised by his guards. He searched her pockets, found no spoon, and tightened the second cuff until her fingers tingled. "Where is the proof?" Nora said nothing. Victor struck the pressure gauge with the back of his glove. Midnight Friday. The transfer. The girl's glass. Then Bianca takes the blame. That was all he gave her. He did not need to boast. He only needed the spoon and Lily's location. Nora gave him neither. He left one guard at the door. The lock slammed. Nora tested the cuff. Pain shot to her elbow. She stopped pulling and listened instead. The return pipe knocked every 9 seconds. Pressure was climbing behind a half-closed valve, the same fault she had reported when this laundry still operated. A linen cart stood on the sloped floor. One wheel warped, its brake held by a fraying cord. She hooked the cord with her shoe, pulled once, missed, pulled again. The cart rolled. Its metal corner struck the valve wheel. Steam screamed through the joint. The guard opened the door. Nora kicked the cart into his knees, caught his dropped key beneath her heel, and dragged it across the wet concrete. Her wrist burned. Her fingers slipped. The gauge climbed toward red. She unlocked one cuff, opened the emergency bleed valve, and vanished behind the wall of steam before the guard could stand. Invisible labor had not made her harmless. It had taught her where every neglected system broke for 48 hours. The Bellandi estate failed without Nora. Deliveries entered, unchecked. A guest reached Lily's private corridor. 2 guards followed contradictory orders. Dante finally saw that Nora had not merely cleaned his world. She had made it function. Lily emerged from the laundry passage with Rosa and said Nora had hidden her there. Before Victor's copied card opened the bedroom. Rosa proved Nora had been in the kitchen when that credential was used. Then Dante remembered Victor identifying the polishing cloth before anyone told him where Nora had found it. 3 contradictions broke the false story. Dante did not announce his suspicion. He told Victor the real spoon had been moved to an Archer warehouse. Victor dispatched men there within minutes, then personally drove toward the abandoned laundry. Dante followed with Samuel Reed, an older driver Victor had forced into silence. Inside the laundry, Victor found an open cuff, an injured guard, and steam thick enough to hide every doorway. Nora had climbed into the overhead drying duct, but the metal amplified each movement. Victor heard it. He fired once through the ceiling. Nora changed direction before the second shot, dropped onto the linen chute, and used the cart's warped wheel to jam the loading door behind her. She reached the yard as Dante's car blocked Victor's exit. Victor abandoned his vehicle and retreated through the boiler tunnel rather than fight 2 fronts without knowing which of Dante's men had turned. Dante found Nora outside, soaked, one wrist bleeding, but already standing on her own. He moved toward her. Nora raised a hand. "Do not touch me." He stopped. "I believed a system because I built it," he said. "I used my authority against the woman, warning me it was compromised. That is an admission, not repair. Tell me what repair requires. I control the evidence. I choose who knows Lily's location. You do not explain my proof for me." Agreed. Samuel then revealed that Victor had altered the route on the night Dante's wife died. Bianca had signed the change, believing it concealed a family meeting. Victor had used her vanity and Dante's grief to build power for years. Bianca's message arrived on Victor's abandoned burner. Final dose for Lily. Friday. Midnight toast. The gala was 6 hours away. Nora looked at Dante. Canceling tells Victor, "We know." The gala continues. "I will not use Lily as bait." Neither will I. We replace the danger, control the route, and make him touch the proof in public. And you make him believe you still distrust me. At a safe apartment. Nora built the trap around the only evidence an audience needed to remember the blue stain. She prepared a clean silver tray with fresh polish. Dante leaked a false claim to Victor that the tray concealed convoy records, proving Victor's connection to the Moretti transfer. Only Victor received that detail. If he stole the tray, he would touch its treated handle. If he handled the same compound meant for Lily, the polish would reveal blue residue on his glove. Lily remained with Rosa behind a guarded kitchen route. "Can I help?" she asked. Nora gave her the blue crayon. "Draw exactly what you remember. Nothing more." Bianca was brought to the apartment. Her arrogance had collapsed into fear. Victor said the dose would only make Lily sleep. She whispered, "You let him bring a chemical near a child." Nora replied, "You accused me publicly to erase the person who noticed." Bianca looked at Dante for rescue. He gave her none. Nora required Bianca to attend the gala wearing the sapphire ring. You do not earn forgiveness by becoming useful at the last minute. You testify. Surrender your authority. and accept what follows. Bianca agreed. At 10:30, the bait tray entered the signing room. Victor disabled the camera for 11 minutes and removed it. The electronic record vanished. Exactly as Nora expected. The physical record did not. At 11:45, guests filled the ballroom. Nora entered in her gray uniform. Visibly unprotected, Victor presented edited footage and a forged message claiming she had demanded immunity. Dante played his role. Nora Bennett has no protection from my name. Remove her. The words reopened the wound, even though she had approved them. Victor smiled and changed the service route. One glass was placed for Lily. Security blocked the curved corridor Nora planned to use. 2 guards cuffed her and pushed her into the service elevator. At 11:55, Victor sent Dante the transfer contract. Sign before midnight, or your daughter drinks. Dante took the pen. Across the ballroom, Lily was brought to the table by a guard wearing Victor's badge. She lifted her glass. A thin blue line appeared on its silver rim. The elevator stopped between floors. Victor's voice came through the speaker. 5 minutes. Miss Bennett. By midnight. The Bellandi roots belong to Moretti, and the child belongs to Chance. Nora used the service switch, hidden beneath the brass panel. Nothing happened. Victor had cut power. But old estates kept mechanical redundancies. She climbed onto the rail, forced open the ceiling hatch, and reached the dumbwaiter cable running beside the shaft. The cuffs limited her balance. She looped them around the cable and lowered herself to the kitchen landing. Rosa opened the hatch. 3 minutes, Rosa said. Nora took the sealed tasting spoon from beneath Lily's reading bench and ran through the heated service corridor. Victor had blocked the public curve, not the narrow route dishwashers used behind it. In the ballroom, Dante delayed with one demand after another. Wrong ink. Missing witness. Incomplete seal. Victor finally placed a hand on Lily's chair. Sign. Dante lowered the pen. Nora burst through the service door and threw the empty silver tray across the table. It struck Lily's glass before she drank. Liquid spread over white linen. Blue bloomed wherever it touched, polished silver. Victor drew his gun. His guards moved toward Nora. Dante stood. His weapon was already leveled at Victor's chest. Bellandi guard turn on Hale. Half the room pivoted at once, their guns closing on Victor from 3 sides. The officers who hesitated found Dante's loyal captains behind them. Victor and Bianca are suspended from every Bellandi authority. No one touch Nora. Let her speak. The room turned to her, not to Dante. Not to the security screens. Nora held up the spoon. This stain first appeared on silver, used near Lily. It appeared next on the inside of her door. Tonight it appeared on her glass. One compound, one path. She pressed a polishing cloth into Bianca's sapphire ring. Blue rose from the grooves. Bianca began to cry. Victor gave it to me. You still carried it, Nora said. Then she rubbed the cloth across Victor's black glove. The same blue surfaced. Victor laughed. She contaminated all of it. She prepared the tray. She handled the ring. She attacked the glass. I did prepare one tray, Nora said. A clean tray treated with silver polish. Dante told only you it carried convoy evidence. You disabled the camera and stole it. The compound on your glove reacted with its handle before you ever entered this ballroom. Samuel placed Victor's abandoned burner beside the tray. Bianca identified her messages. Rosa testified to the sealed spoon. Lily displayed her drawing of Victor's blue-marked cart. The proof did not ask the audience to remember 6 mysteries. Every witness completed the same chain. Victor grabbed Lily, but Nora had placed the child's chair beside the staff release panel. Lily kicked it as practiced. The partition dropped between them. Dante crossed the distance and drove Victor to the floor. A knife skidded free. Nora kicked it under the council table. The clock struck midnight. The Moretti chairman rose. The vote and transfer are suspended. Evidence of coercion and fraud voids tonight's signing authority, pending council review. Victor's deadline died with his control. Dante removed Nora's cuffs with hands that were steady only until the steel fell away. Red grooves circled her wrists. He stared at them as if each mark carried his signature. But Nora stepped away before he could speak. Not privately. She said, "You humiliated me before this room. Accountability begins here." Dante looked at the spilled coffee. Diluted poison and blue chemical residue spreading across the marble. Then he lowered himself into it. The knees of his hand-tailored black trousers darkened in the dirty water. He did not look at the captains, the council, or the enemies measuring his weakness. He looked only at Nora. Dante's voice came out low and raw. Stripped of the command that usually filled a ballroom, "I made you pay for my fear." His gaze dropped to the wounds around Nora's wrists. "You warned me. I took your card. I let my men put steel on you. Then I handed you to the man you were trying to expose." His breath caught. But he did not turn the fracture into an excuse. "You saved Lily. You saved yourself. You brought Victor down while I was still learning how completely I had failed you." He placed Nora's access card on the wet floor between them, instead of pressing it back into her hand. "Your name is clear because you proved the truth, not because I returned it to you. The proof is yours. The victory is yours. And the choice to leave me is yours." His next words were barely above a rough whisper. "I am sorry, Nora. Not as your boss. Not as the head of this family. As the man who taught you that my trust disappeared the moment respecting you became costly." Dante bowed his head. "I will repair what I can in public. I will accept what you never forgive in private. But I will never ask you to carry my guilt for me." No one applauded. Nora was grateful. Applause would have turned accountability into theater. Victor was taken before the family council under guards, who no longer answered to him. His accounts were frozen, his communications. Route change. And role in Dante's wife's death entered an independent investigation. Bianca surrendered her position. Voting shares. And estate access. She agreed to testify without immunity. Dante did not forgive her because she was family. Nora did not comfort her because she was frightened. When the room cleared, Dante approached Nora with her access card. She did not take it. "I was leaving after the gala," she said. "My company plan was in the drawer." Victor searched. "Then leave through the front door. Not the servant's entrance." Dante set the card on the table. "Open your company. I will protect your right to do it without owning any part of it. Protection cannot become control. Then write the boundary." Nora looked at the man who once expected loyalty to survive without respect. "If I ever stay beside you, I do not return as your maid. I do not become another asset under your name. My work, money, decisions, and exit remain mine. Yes, and your apology does not purchase romance." Pain crossed his face, but he nodded. "Yes, then We understand each other." Nora walked out through the ballroom and down the estate's front steps. Rosa and Samuel followed, carrying the business plan and the sealed spoon. Dante did not stop her. That restraint was the first useful thing his remorse accomplished. 6 weeks later, Bennett Household Integrity opened above a bakery in Brooklyn. Nora trained domestic workers to document hazards, preserve evidence, and refuse procedures designed only to protect powerful employers. Rosa directed operations. Samuel handled secure transport. Their first clients came from families who had heard how one maid defeated a security chief with a polishing cloth. The Bellandi estate applied for an audit. Nora rejected the first contract because it allowed Dante final authority over worker complaints. She rejected the second because it required confidentiality after criminal conduct. The third granted independent reporting, protected staff retaliation claims, and permitted Nora to terminate service without penalty. She signed that one. Dante attended every review without interrupting. He replaced Victor's centralized security model with divided oversight. Lily chose her own child advocate. Staff received written rights, direct emergency channels, and wages reflecting the labor Nora had once performed invisibly. Dante did not send jewels. He brought coffee to Nora's office and waited when she was busy. He asked, before entering. He listened when the answer was no. Months passed before Nora accepted dinner. "I cannot promise your world will become safe," she told him. "I can promise I will never again call danger loyalty, because it serves me. Promises need procedures." He smiled. "You wrote mine into a 40-page contract." 43. Their affection grew through evidence rather than rescue. Dante admired the authority Nora built for herself. Nora saw him surrender power when keeping it would have been easier. Neither pretended desire erased the history between them. When he asked to court her publicly, she said, "You may walk beside me. Never ahead as my owner, never behind as my penitent. Beside you." He agreed. 1 year after the gala, Nora returned to the Bellandi ballroom as the owner of the firm conducting its annual integrity audit. The room looked different. Staff used the main doors. Complaint reports went to 3 independent reviewers. Lily's drawings hung beside the security desk because she had insisted children sometimes noticed what adults ignored. Bianca had testified against Victor and remained outside Bellandi authority. Consequences had not vanished, merely because she cooperated. Victor was convicted through the combined record of financial coercion, attempted poisoning, abduction, and the root manipulation that caused Dante's wife's death. Nora placed a clean silver tray on the table. No blue appeared beneath the polish. Dante brought 2 cups of coffee himself. Audit passed, with corrections. Of course. Lily ran in and handed Nora a framed drawing. In it, Nora stood before a bright office while Dante waited outside holding coffee. The figures were the same height. Accurate, Nora said. Dante looked at her. "I love you. Not for saving my family. Not for making my house function. I love you when you leave. When you refuse me. And when your life does not revolve around mine." Nora had once believed freedom required, never needing anyone. Now she understood that chosen love could honor freedom if it survived boundaries. "I love you too," she said. "The contract still stands. Every page." He offered his hand. She took it because she wanted to, not because she needed protection, employment, or permission. They walked through the front doors together. Not boss and maid. Not savior and possession. partners beside each other. Exactly as promised.